Hey, hey, how's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy August. What is it, August? How is this possible? Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. I am so excited for today's session. I can't believe school is around the corner, giving season is around the corner. What isn't around the corner? If you feel a little hectic, let me know how you're feeling coming to us for today. I see everybody popping on. So good to see you. So let me know where you're watching from. We are streaming on Facebook, Facebook group, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever your platform is. Thank you for being here. Welcome to The Edition Live. If we have not met before, I am your host, Dana Snyder, and I am the CEO and founder of Positive Equation. And at Positive Equation, what I love to do is equip nonprofit leaders and marketers really with the digital marketing tools and knowledge to attract new donors, love on the current ones, and raise more funds. So speaking of that, I love finding new tech tools to share with you, really, especially if they make donating more fun and simple for your supporters. I've been a big fan of this company called Pledge. They used to be Pledgeling for a while. For some of you know that I used to live in Los Angeles, and I heard their CEO speak at a conference a few years ago, and they're truly pioneers in the nonprofit space. And they recently created a partnership with Zoom called the Pledge app. So yes, this means you can now add a donate button right into Zoom. So any Zoom meeting that you have can become a fundraiser for your nonprofit literally in seconds through their Donations by Pledge app. The best part about this is the app is totally free. So let's take a quick look at what I'm talking about.
Introducing a donate button in Zoom, powered by Pledge. It's easy to get started within minutes. Click Create a Fundraiser, pick a nonprofit from our database of over 2 million organizations. Set a goal, share it in your Zoom, then see your donations skyrocket. As a special thank you, donors will get an exclusive custom virtual background, making this a Zoom they will never forget. Join the global movement for good and start fundraising through your Zoom today with the Donations by Pledge app, now available in Zoom.
How awesome is that? Yes, I see Lisa's joining us. She loves Pledgeling. Me too. I don't know if you guys noticed this. My favorite feature is there's an I donated virtual background that once you donate through Zoom, it gives you the option to put it as your background. So the whole Zoom screen, if you have donated, that background pops up. So it's a little bit of like fun peer pressure that we don't get virtually when normally you have that like paddle raise and everybody's like, oh, who's got that paddle up? But that virtual background, if you're the only one that doesn't have the virtual background up, you need to donate. So I did put a link. Again, it's totally free. So go ahead and click the link either up above in the post or in the comment section to learn more about their Zoom app. So today, what are we talking about? We have an incredible guest, friend, peer, colleague of mine, Julia Campbell, to talk about how to stand out in your inbox. So as nonprofit marketers, I'm sure we all receive our fair share of emails. So it's important for us to understand how do we stand out and make sure our information is seen. Julia, if you don't know who she is, I don't know where you've been, but Julia runs a digital marketing consulting business focused exclusively on mission-driven organizations. She's a mom of 2 and returned Peace Corps volunteer, and she's a 2-time author, no big deal, of Storytelling in the Digital Age, a guide for nonprofits, and how to build and mobilize a social media community for your nonprofit in 90 days. So if you can't already tell, we could talk about social media marketing together for days, weeks, years. But for today, we are talking about email marketing. So let's go ahead and bring on Julia.
Hi, thanks for having me, Dana.
Thanks for being here. You've had a busy day.
Yes. Oh, just one webinar. I'm not that busy, but yes, I did present at the Nonprofit Marketing Summit this morning, the virtual summit, on how to convert your social media fans and followers into long-term supporters. And actually a big piece of that is email. So I'm excited to talk about this topic today.
I love it. And for everybody, if you have questions, please feel free to comment below and we'll pop those up. But yeah, let's dive into it. So email is something that I feel like in our space isn't really talked a lot about.
It's
And
not
the
as sexy
importance.
for some reason.
Yeah, it's not really as sexy. Everybody's like social media. Yeah, but what happens once you get somebody into your funnel? And I posted on LinkedIn, I feel like it was 6 months ago at this point. I became a recurring donor for an organization last year. And when my husband and I were going through our finances, I was like, I don't remember what organization we are giving to.
Right.
I got no emails. I had to go through my bank statement to find out who it was.
Oh no, that breaks my heart.
So
that
there's
makes
a lot.
me really sad.
There's a lot we can work on here. So I just want to like dive into it. What do you think are some of the biggest advantages of email?
Well, it's sort of like you said, we could talk for hours about community building with social media, paid ads, lead gen, casting a wide net on social media. But the thing with email marketing, it's really not going away. So study after study has shown that email is the first check of the day, even before Facebook, even before Instagram, before LinkedIn, before anything else. It's the first check on most people's phone. It's certainly the first check when you get to work. And it's increasing in use, not decreasing amongst generations. So people tend to think of email as an old people thing. And yeah, sure, teenagers don't necessarily have email, but they never did. I didn't have an email address when I was a teenager, even though AOL Instant Messenger was kind of a thing when I was in college. But as people, enter the workforce and get internships and, join, go to college or even just take on a professional, a profession, they are more likely to get an email address. The other benefit is that the average open rate is 15 to 20%. And I know a lot of nonprofits have a higher open rate than that. So nonprofits tend to have a higher open rate than businesses. But if you think about your organic unpaid Facebook reach, for example, it's like 2 to 3%.
Yeah,
so you have the potential to be reaching 20% of your fans, which of course, as marketers, we think, why can't we reach 100%? But that will never happen. But you have the potential, if you do it right and you're very strategic and you use the tips and techniques we'll talk about today, you do have the option to reach more of your fans than you do on social media. Oh, another benefit is that we own it. So if you are doing, and I see that book behind you. This is Marketing by Seth Godin.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, wait, let me show you my, I want to show you my book. It's got like bookmarks and Post-its and highlights.
So
and I've read it
good.
like 7 times. Absolutely love it. I fell in love with him when he wrote a book called Permission Marketing. And that is exactly what email marketing should be. So if you're doing email marketing correctly, it's permission-based, which means you own the email list. So you can bring it with you, no matter what platform you use. You can't bring your Facebook fans with you. You can't bring your Twitter followers with you. You can't bring your Instagram followers with you. Also, all of these platforms really can and do, not throw the rug, pull the rug, pull the rug out from under us. And we have no repercussion. So you take the good, you take the bad, but with email, you have a lot more control.
Totally. I love that. And we don't own Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. So
we don't. We might be shareholders, but we do not own it.
That's true. I do own Facebook stock. But
it's smart.
We never know what's going to happen to them.
Never know what's going to happen.
When it comes to, and I do so much research on tech tools, there's a lot of different options of email platforms. Do you find that there are certain ones for the nonprofit industry that you recommend over others?
Well, I think to start out, you're going to start using something that's pretty simple. So probably, your MailChimp or your Constant Contact. And that's because it's very simple. It's very easy to use. As you grow, as you get more robust, you probably want to use something that's just has a little more bells and whistles. I mean, I use ConvertKit personally. ConvertKit is marketed for, sort of online business owners like you and me, Dana, but it's not really marketed to nonprofits. But I think it has huge potential. That it just really depends on what you're looking for and what your goals are and how it's going to sync with your database, because you don't want something where you're going to have to every month or every week download a CSV and then upload it to your database. Like you want something that's going to sync with your database and be pretty seamless.
Yeah. The only other ones I've heard of is My Emma.
Oh, I love, My Emma is good.
My Emma. And then I use Flowdesk, which is
Flowdesk. Oh, cool. Okay.
Like entrepreneur centric, but it allows you to still create segments and your pop-ups that connect and then create your workflows, like for if this, then that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
and your opt-in forms and your tags.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that.
About it.
I think that's what really overwhelms a lot of nonprofits, is that they feel like they have to know all of this right when they start out. I used Constant Contact for years and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Like I started my business 11 years ago.
4 times.
Yeah, I had no clue. I just sort of put emails in there and would send emails, and I didn't really know how to use it. And then as I slowly became more sophisticated, I graduated to ConvertKit, which really you can control. Like I can send specific emails depending on what maybe workbook someone signs up for or webinar someone attends. I can personalize emails with their first name. I can add emojis and animated GIFs and videos, and I can do all of this. I can add pop-ups to my website. So this is all a learning curve. I just don't want people to think they have to know. You don't have to know everything. You can use MailChimp and enjoy it and love it. And as long as it has an automation feature where when people sign up, they will automatically get an email back. And as long as it can sync up somehow seamlessly with your database or CRM, those are the main two features.
So Lisa, I'm going to put her question up here for us real quick that popped in. So my big question, do you always tease more to get the clicks or put more info into the email so a viewer gets the gist right there and then?
I think you want to get a click. And I'll tell you why. So I wouldn't do clickbait. I would not have something that's inauthentic just to get someone to click in the email.
Yeah.
But if you're writing an email and someone opens it and then someone clicks on it, Gmail and Apple and Outlook and all of the email providers, they see that sends them like a little signal that says, oh, this person really trusts Julia or, whatever nonprofit it is. And this person's probably a trusted sender. We're going to put more of Julia's emails into inboxes. We're not going to get them, we're not going to get them caught in the spam filter. It's not a foolproof system. It doesn't work 100% of the time. But I also really believe anytime you're sending an email, there should be a reason and there should be a call to action, usually, hopefully just maybe 1 or 2. Like I'm thinking of the email, Dana, I don't know if you sent it out this morning or yesterday, that was encouraging people to watch this particular live stream. It was very simple. It was very streamlined. And all the links went to the same place, like watch the live video. Because if you're asking people to do too many things, a confused mind always says no. But getting people to click to go to your website, first of all, then when they go to your website, we can get a little technical. You can pixel them, Facebook pixel them. There's all sorts of things you can do to track them on your website. But it also just creates that sense of trust. And they're much more likely to take an action the next time around. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Dana, too.
I agree. I don't know. I heard it got backed up, and I don't know if you know more about this, with Google cracking down on Gmail open rates. There was this whole nightmare of a thing that was not going to allow us to be able to see open rate metrics.
So email is basically, I love that we're talking about email. Apple and Google are actually trying to kill email marketing. I don't know why. They're trying to prevent us from truly understanding how many people are opening and how many people are clicking. The other thing that's happening is that when you send something like from ConvertKit or Constant Contact or MailChimp, it has this little piece of code in it And so many people, especially Apple Mail users, have that stripped out so they don't get tracked. So you could have someone actively opening your email every week or every couple of weeks or every month, and they could be marked as a cold subscriber because that little piece of code is not activated.
Right.
I know. So everything about email is kind of like getting thrown out the window a little bit, but I think the main principles are still going to apply, I hope.
Well, I think that link clicks, though, weren't going to be affected from what I remember.
No, I mean, I know that just what I've been seeing in ConvertKit, I've been trying to watch it really closely. My open rate has not changed dramatically. It has, I'm trying to grow it every single week. Every single time I send an email, I'm trying to be very strategic in how I do that. And then I'm tracking link clicks. And I have not seen in the last 6 months a dramatic decrease. So I'm just hoping that consistency will win. I'm hoping trust is going to win. I'm hoping relevancy is going to win. I'm hoping that people that are maybe dragging a nonprofit's email over from the promotions tab into the inbox. I hope that's going to, all of these are like little signals, but I know at the end of the day, we're really just all at the whims of these tech companies,
tech platforms. I know, but that's why I think we're trying to do the work for you guys as much as possible. And so obviously changes daily.
Yeah.
Same thing with emails. So on this topic, can we talk about subject lines for a minute?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like this is something that I research all the time.
Yes.
How do we help nonprofits increase their open rates? And what does subject lines have to do with that?
Yes. So number one is never send an email that says August newsletter unless your audience expects that. Honestly, I have had clients that said our audience will not open it unless it says August newsletter. So I said, okay, that's fine. Definitely keep doing that. But I would say for the majority of us, there needs to be a little bit of something that piques curiosity and sticks out. It's like anything in marketing. You have to grab attention. You have to grab eyeballs, but not in a provocative way that is clickbait or spammy or inauthentic. So this is where creativity really comes in. What I do is I save emails that I love. I do screenshots of them. I have an Evernote folder. Evernote is an app where you can save documents and ideas. I have Gmail tabs of email marketing that I like and email subject. I have a Gmail tab of email subject lines that I like. So just looking at the emails that you open and that you respond to and that you really like. And that's really how I learned about it. Also, if you can put a name in a subject line, that helps. If you can personalize as much as possible, but just giving them something to kind of look forward to. And then I know in ConvertKit, I don't know what the technical term is, but it's that little piece of text. So if you open an email on your phone, you see the subject line and then you see a little piece of text.
Oh yeah, the like smaller
subheadline, I guess. I don't actually know the technical term. Yeah. That is incredibly important because for most of us, it's just going to look like, can you read this email? No, click on your browser, or it's going to say August newsletter 10. All of this real estate is hugely important. Yeah. So as much as you can write short, succinct subject lines, because of course the majority of emails are open on a phone. So if it's 200 characters or 300 characters, people are not going to be able to really read it. So make it as succinct as possible. I like emojis. Not all brands like emojis. I have one client that always uses a dog because there are like a dog rescue organization. So they always use a little dog before their subject line. And it sort of sets them apart, but then it also breeds familiarity. And so people know, oh, this is from that organization. So that might be something to think about.
I love that. When it comes to the length, I always send myself a test email.
Yes.
And I test it on mobile and desktop because I think I'm good with my character count. And then sometimes I'm not. So that's really important that the juiciness doesn't get cut off. The end part. Jonathan and Julie, thank you for letting us know.
Preview, pre-header text. We should know this. I just call it the subheader. I don't know. I forget what it's called in Constant Contact. It's just in the advanced part.
Yeah. I don't know who asked this question because it says Facebook user, but my big question, she saw you at a seminar, which is super exciting.
Hey, oh, West Palm. I'd be there right now in a heartbeat.
My big question is for Gmail users, our emails are going to promotions, right? And only half of those we send to are even seeing or opening it. It's not spam. What do we do?
Well, what I do and what I recommend my clients do in your welcome sequence. So when someone subscribes to your email list, you will be sending them an email, at least one. And I know we're going to talk about welcome sequences in a little bit. Send them at least one email that says, thank you so much for subscribing. You've joined a great community that wants to stop the problem of XYZ. Just so you know, our emails may be ending up in your spam folder. Here are 5 ways to stop that. I just got an email from Michael Hyatt, who you might like, Dana. He's a huge internet marketer. He wrote, this is his welcome email. Your email inbox doesn't want you to experience the double win, which is his whole program. Sometimes it likes to hide my emails to keep you stuck in the hustle fallacy. Fortunately, you can thwart the attempts of your email inbox by whitelisting my email address. And then he gives his email address and then he gives a link to click. So what I do is I say, Apple Mail users, Gmail users, make sure you drag my email into your inbox so you let Gmail know that I'm a trusted sender. So you kind of have to walk people through it. It's not a foolproof way to do it. And then you can also put that on your thank you page. So when someone signs up for your email list, if they get redirected to a thank you page on your website, I've seen that where people say, don't lose my emails. Don't let them get lost in the promotions tab. Here are 2 ways to ensure that from happening. We can't do anything on our end necessarily, but people, your subscribers, can do something on their end.
To be able to take that next step. Yeah. I hope that was helpful. She's like, weird that my name doesn't show up. I know. I don't know why it's doing that to you. You blame it on Facebook.
Look, see, throwing us for a loop. Always.
Well, let's keep rocking through. So now that we've kind of gone over some kind of basics on email marketing, and actually we've gone into a lot of nitty gritty. What are the 3 most common mistakes you find that nonprofits make when it comes to emails?
Oh, yes. 1, adding anyone and everyone to their email list. Just because I connect with you on LinkedIn, don't add me to your email list. I love all of you. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Don't add me to your email list. Just assuming that anytime you meet someone at a conference or an event or just anytime you get an email or a business card, or you have an email list that you somehow got from a different organization, always go with permission marketing first. Even double down on it. That's the trend of the future. People do not want to be added to email lists. It's not, and I've heard this, I just heard this from a client the other day. They said, well, we add everybody, but we just assume they can unsubscribe. And I was like, that is rude. I said, that is so rude. Secondly, it does you a disservice because you're going to get marked as spam. Right. And then what do you think Gmail's going to do when 300 people mark you as spam? They're going to put you in the spam folder to the people that actually want to hear from you.
Yeah, then they have a bad taste in their mouth about you.
Oh, it's rude. It's rude. Don't do it. Number 2, sending emails only when you want something. So my heart really hurt, Dana, when you said about you're a monthly donor and you never heard from the organization. I don't know I don't even know what to say about that. They probably will email you on Giving Tuesday. So keep an eye on your inbox. Don't just email when you want something. Use email to really build that relationship and to really actively give your email subscribers things that are valuable to them and stories and statistics and accomplishments. Don't make it all about your organization, but make it about their wants and needs and their desires and what's going to be meaningful to them. Because email is about relationship building. It's about putting deposits in a bank that you can then withdraw when you need something, because people are so motivated and excited and proud to be a part of what you offer. And then I would say number 3 is really just not actively trying to grow their list, just thinking emails are going to fall off trees or they're going to go to our website and somehow be a subscriber. So have an active strategic system for building your email list, using your website, using pop-ups, using lead magnets, using a white paper, a report.
Totally.
Maybe you have a literacy curriculum that you've developed. Maybe you have 5 ways to start a food bank, or 5 ways to, I just worked on this with a client, 5 ways to start a food drive at your school, things like that, where you can ask for the email and provide something of value. But actively be growing your email list with people who want to be there and they want to hear more from you.
Awesome. I love those 3. I think if you're looking for examples, I always turn to the for-profit e-commerce space. If you literally go to any like for-profit e-commerce website, go to Julia or go to my website, you will see that there are value-driven pop-up opportunities for us to receive your email. I think we both have like, yes, you can join our newsletter and that's great, but that's not the main place that people normally click. It's they want to receive something in return. I love the one that you just said about that you can do your own food drive, because I just had Mary Noel on from Do Something Strategic talking about Gen Z.
Yes.
They
love to do it. They want to do it themselves.
And they want to do it themselves. Gen Z just wants, I mean, you know, with your young kids, they want to physically make the change happen. They want to be the activists, not just sit there. So it's like, how can you communicate and provide something that's going to allow someone to take action directly?
Yep.
So I love that. Those are amazing. So let's go through. I love asking this question because you talked about the welcome sequence and it's so important. Let's say I find a nonprofit that I love. I am signed up. I have downloaded that value proposition. I am in their emails. I've said yes. What should I receive next?
So when we talk about welcome series, I don't want people's eyes to glaze over and get all overwhelmed. And, you know, I don't even have a welcome series. It's like the cobbler with no shoes. I have one email that you'll get depending on whatever you sign up for. So people have these 10 email welcome series. What you need as a nonprofit, this is what your first email needs to be. And it can be set up in automation. So I sign up at 2 a.m. for your email list. I get this email back. It needs 3 things. Number 1, telling me I'm in the right place. Saying, thank you. You have joined a community of like-minded people who are looking to change the world. We're looking to solve XYZ problem. Then the second piece, it needs to tell me a little bit about you, an introduction, and say, this is what we're doing here. This is what you can expect over the next few weeks. We email weekly with stories, or we email bi-weekly with impact. Let people know what to expect. This is probably one of the things that bothers me with nonprofits, is that they don't have this system in place. Like, they don't know how often they're going to email. But if someone signs up for your email list, they want to know what to expect a little bit. Like, do you email monthly? Do you email bi-monthly? And also, what kinds of things do you email about? And then the third piece of the welcome email should be kind of like a micro call to action. So not donate necessarily, although I have seen that. The big national ones usually do that. But for a local nonprofit, I recommend, or regional, smaller, mid-size, just saying, watch this video to learn more about us. Or here's our most popular blog post from this month. Or here's a report that we did. Not all 3, by the way, pick one.
Yeah.
Just to make that connection, to get that person to click, to get that person interested, because the more you can get people to say yes, the more you can get people to click and build that relationship with you, the more likely they are to open the second email, the third email, the fourth email. So I really think if you just set up one email, because I can't tell you how many times I've signed up for email lists and I just get that generic thank you for subscribing. That is wasted space.
Yeah.
Your thank you for subscribing email is going to be your highest
Right.
open rate without fail. You will get the highest open rate because they just subscribed. They're super excited and they want to see what you can do next. And then you just send them the thank you for subscribing. It's like, oh my God.
And then it's deleted and it's gone.
It's deleted and it's gone. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I think I love the idea of the video, because if they make it a video where you can link it out to Facebook, then you can retarget people who watch that video.
Yep. YouTube, anywhere you go. You could even embed a video. I know using like Grativid or Cosvid. I mean, ThankView, there's all sorts of ways you could do it. I've seen that, but I like a click. I like a good click because, like you said, then it's more, you have more metrics. You can either pixel them on your website or you can retarget them on Facebook. So for me, I like them to click. But if you want to embed a video, I think that's a really nice thing to do too.
Yeah. I think I send people to my Facebook group because then it gets them more immersed into the community, I think.
Yeah, depending on a promotion, if I have an open program or a webinar, I will try to remember to change my welcome email to promote that. But usually it does just promote like my Facebook group or, here's a recent video.
That one thing that you just said is so important. Please go into, if you do have a welcome sequence and maybe staff has changed, maybe your branding has changed. If you haven't checked that sequence in a minute,
sign up and then see what happens.
Yeah, go check it out. Experience what it looks like. That's a great point. Be your own. I am on all of my own lists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Be on all of your own lists. Like create strange emails just to be on your own list so you can see what it looks like as the user, because we get so caught up as the creator, but we need to look at it from the eyes of the donor, from the user.
Yes. All right, let's do one more question.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap. All right, from Tracy. How do you recommend getting emails from donors who don't provide it? Text message, phone call, postcard.
Well, going forward, absolutely bake it into everything that you do. But I think the reason people are not providing their emails is that they haven't been given an incentive to do so. So try to really explain to them that your email is not set up as a transaction. It's not going to be spam. It's going to be stories of impact. It's going to share with them the meaningful work that they did by giving a gift. So a lot of times donors do not want to give their email. They don't want to be on another email list, but they do want to know what's going on with the problem, the cause, and the organization. So if you can make it impactful, if you can explain the incentive to be on your email list, because it's not really like, no matter what you do, text message, phone call, postcard, those are just tactics. But if you don't have that meaningful, compelling ask, like the reason why they should join your list, it doesn't matter how many times you ask them. But they also might just not know that it's an option. They might have given you an old email address. I think if you're very strategic about having an email capture campaign for the donors in your database, doing all of the things, putting it on Facebook, sending out emails, calling people on the phone, you'll never have a 100% email capture rate, but at least trying to explain to them, this is a cost-effective way for us to keep in touch with you and to show you the impact of your donation.
Awesome. I would say, Tracy, also, this is a whole separate conversation, but if they're more open to give you their phone number, I am a really big fan of SMS, text messaging.
Yeah.
Because what do we all have on us all the time, every single moment of the day is our phones. And text messaging is becoming a really interesting way for fundraising and calls to action. So maybe your audience isn't a big email group, but maybe they're a big SMS group. You could test it out. But
I love that. I think that's right. You need to meet your donor where they are on the platform that they want to be on.
Totally. So if they're more interested in receiving text messages, maybe ask them that, or maybe give them that option when they sign up, that they can pick an email or a phone number, if that's possible in your sign up form. But Julia, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. No problem.
We have to do way more of these on a slew of different topics, but email is one that we're all trying to like figure out and do better at.
Exactly. It's a never-ending struggle. It's always changing.
It is. What is the best way for people to connect with you?
You can go to my website, jcsocialmarketing.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, Julia Campbell. Twitter, I'm at Julia C Social. So I'm really on all the socials, but I like LinkedIn and Twitter the best.
Awesome. Perfect. Julia, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. That was amazing. Who learned like one thing? Because I think I learned like 5. I wanted to let everyone know about a free masterclass that I just launched recently about how to use social media ads. We talked a little bit about some pixels in today's conversation. If you were like, I have no idea what she's talking about, this will kind of tell you what I'm talking about. I teach you how to use social media ads on Facebook and Instagram specifically to attract new donors and really honestly any of your goals. So if you want, I'll put it in the comments. You can join my free masterclass. Pick a time that works best for you, and I hope to see you in there. And then if you enjoyed today's conversation on whatever platform you're on, please tap the little heart or the like emojis or the clap emojis. And just say hey, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, Christina, Tracy, Lisa, Karina. I see you guys. Have a good one, everybody.